It's lunchtime on a beautiful fall Friday in Boston's financial district. The streets are anything but full of life.
Downtown vibrancy is a byproduct of this whole new work environment.
It's the not-so-new normal for post-pandemic workers with remote or hybrid schedules. According to Jim Rooney, the president and CEO of the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce.
The trends are clear. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is busier than Monday and Friday, with Friday being the lowest.
The Chamber's survey of 120 Greater Boston businesses found 85% are embracing hybrid work models, with most having workers in the office 3 days a week. 9% are fully remote, while 6% are fully in person.
If employers had their way, would people be in 5 days a week?
Yeah, anecdotally, I hear that.
Rooney says flexible work schedules are being driven by employees who are demanding them.
Is hybrid work here to stay?
It's here to stay in a lot of places.
But in other places, the tide is turning.
You can't work at home. They're not working. They're playing tennis, they're playing golf, or they have other jobs.
President Trump ordered all federal workers back to the office right after he was sworn in. A handful of states have also told their employees to return to work in person, including Ohio, Indiana, and California. Although California's order to work in the office at least 4 days a week has been pushed back to 2026.
How do you balance giving employees the flexibility to work from home while also making sure the important business of the state is getting done?
Well, when I was elected governor, I was clear that people needed to be back at work, in the office, in person.
But data obtained by 5 Investigates reveals that out of 42,000 employees in the state's executive branch workforce, nearly half report to the office every day. Nearly half have a hybrid work schedule, and about 1,000 employees are fully remote.
That seems to be an awful lot of employees that are still hybrid or fully remote at this time.
Mary Connaughton is Director of Government Transparency at the Pioneer Institute, a public policy research group.
Is the state losing, creativity that comes through collaboration, from sitting in the conference room together and coming up with solutions? And believe me, we need lots of solutions to state issues at this time.
Among those listed as working hybrid, 6 of the governor's cabinet secretaries.
I found that very surprising. I would think that cabinet secretaries would be there under the Golden Dome, working together.
The Healey administration tells 5 Investigates on the vast majority of workdays, cabinet secretaries are in the office. They may periodically work from home due to travel and other operational needs. The chief medical examiner and her deputy are also listed as hybrid workers.
Does that seem like a job you can do from home?
It doesn't strike me as a job that should be done remotely.
The administration says due to the intensive hours required to fulfill her duties, the medical examiner works in person 5 days a week and utilizes telework to complete additional work required beyond standard administrative hours.
Do you worry about productivity, slackers?
No, I don't. And as I say, the vast majority of the workforce is not even eligible for remote work.
Do you see a scenario where you would order people back in the office 5 days a week?
Well, I think people have gotten the message that that's what we want.
Governor Healey says working from home is considered on a case-by-case basis. The state has cut back on leased office space since the pandemic, and a spokesperson says that reduction would not allow everyone to be back in the office in all state agencies at the same time. Mike Bodette, 5 Investigates.
Mike, thank you for that. Do you know about government inefficiencies caused by people working from home? If you do, call the number on your screen or send an email to 5investigates@wcbb.com.